Hello, everyone, and welcome in. I am New Diamonds here with Tiana S. And super excited to be doing this live reading. This is going to be an initial breakdown for parents and what to look forward for this New Year's. Okay, we're New Year's is 2 weeks away, and I feel like there's so many things that we all are looking forward. And just this past year, learned so much. So I'm really excited to introduce my guests and kind of deep dive into why we're doing this and what she's all about. Nothing but good vibes, good energy. So, yes.
Yeah. Well, my name is Tanya Scott, and I go by Tanya S. Roses on YouTube as well as TikTok. And
Yes.
the idea is really to engage parents with the tools that they have as parents. Oftentimes, as parents, we go through a lot of frustration because people say, well, the kids didn't come with a manual, and we're just, and you feel frustrated about a lot of things that you don't know, especially because everything has to be customized for specific children because we know they're not all alike. And it can really be daunting. However, we were left with certain tools. And, people that are in the know, they've used these tools down through the millennia, but those tools are for everyone. So that's the idea behind this reading, kind of getting us in the groove of using the tools for ourselves and our families so we feel empowered and we kind of have more direction to help us to raise the children to be productive, loving, all the things that we want them to be. So that's it. Hmm.
Okay, with the trees, with the stars. So this is a way that we connect with our ancestors, tap into their way of knowledge when we follow the alignments of the sun and the moon and ways to help guide us. And I feel like they're just tools. So I'm so excited and honored that you like wanted me to do this because I really feel like this is something that I can take heed as far as all the other parents as well because I'm always learning. My I didn't teach my children how to be kids. They taught me how to be a parent. So I feel like
Same
this
here.
is like that guy for us. So I'm so excited and yeah, I really love astrology and I feel like there's just a lot of different tools that we can always tap into to help guide us throughout our lives as well to help us guide us when it comes to teaching our children. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm super excited. Awesome. So let me take a look at this chart. Okay, so the breakdown for New Year's. Oh my goodness, I'm still like in shock. New
Yes.
Year's is like 2 weeks away. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Gotta be ready. Hmm.
Can you believe it?
By fast, but so much happened. So much happened. And we are excited because we are going by what we've seen. I mean, we walk this life by faith and oftentimes by what we don't see with our natural eyes. But dang, what we have seen this year has been off the chain so far as our growth, so far as what's happening in the world politically and socially and everything. But it has been phenomenal. So that's why we're ready because we already know that we're here. We're here for a purpose. So that's why it's all exciting. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. And I feel like that's kind of with children. You know, we're never really ready. But when they're coming, okay? When they're here, they're here. They're such a blessing to us. And I always like to think of them as little angels. Um, Going back to the womb, they set out this due date. My children never came on the due date. They always came when they were ready. And I feel like time just passes us by, like this year. We're already at the end of this year, and before you know it, it's the birth of something new. So
Yeah.
I feel like going into this new year is all about what we can create with our children. I'm seeing on a chart there's a lot of ones, like the moon is at the 11th degree.
Mm,
Pluto is at the first degree.
mm,
The sun is at the 11th degree. So it's like Mars is at the first degree. So one is all about initiation. One is all about starting new things. And I feel like this is a great time to even deep dive into healthier habits with our children. You know, add a little more fruit in their diet, add a little more fun activities. Because I feel like, speaking for myself, okay, I spend a lot of time on electronics, as do my children. So this could be a great time to just incorporate more healthier habits, starting new habits, um, and just taking that initiative to be this positive role model, this more positive influence in their life. Because, you know, you can always tell a child to do something, but the more they see us doing it, the more they intake on that. So they're like, okay, mom said don't eat cupcakes, but I keep seeing mom sneak them cupcakes. So it's like, maybe eat a little bit more healthier. And they're like, okay, I see mom eating more apples. Can I have an apple? Just really working on those healthier habits.
yes.
Or incorporating more healthier options when it comes to just eating, um, and just health wise, really stimulating the children in a more uh, positive way. I feel like positive reassurance, you know, always tell them they're doing good, always tell them they're doing great, just being that instilling of confidence into the children when it comes to this new year, just being this beam of light when it comes to our children. Even if, you know, they aren't doing the best, always encourage them to do more, always encourage them to do better.
So can I
Because,
have a question? So you see
yes,
that you see ones and ones represent like doing things new or getting a new start and things. That's what you're
yes,
saying. So what
yes,
came to my mind was that when we are raising children, we often take for granted that we're always going to be connected because these are our children and we're their parents. But actually, we it's wise to work on relationships continually, even with our children. So maybe learning more about their love languages, or
yes,
maybe learning more about their real interests. Those are
yes,
also things that we can initiate that are new. Because for many of us, again, we take things for granted because they're our children, and that happens with our spouses as well. But yeah, they're growing, they're evolving, and if we take the initiative to do these new things, that would include relationships. So that's the
yes.
ones that you're talking about. I just wanted to kind of chime into that with the doing
I
new things.
love that.
Yes. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
love that. And that gets them excited about it, you know, asking them for their input, asking them, okay, well, what do you want to do today? What do you want to eat? Giving them the option. That's one thing I love doing whenever I go out to grocery stores or farmers markets or just anywhere. I always love to give my kids an option. I'm like, okay, we're picking out fruits and vegetables. You guys, what's your favorite fruits and vegetables? My daughter grabbed some eggplant, my son grabs some Brussels sprouts. I'm like, okay, we just gonna steam them, saute them. But I love to give them that option. Like you said, asking them, including them, and that gets them super excited. Just because I know growing up, I didn't have that choice. Okay, whatever dinner we had, that was dinner. Okay, whatever lunch, whatever snacks, Lunchables, whatever we had, that's what we had. So that's something that I really love to do. And I love that you said that, incorporating them that way they get excited about it as well. So, but yeah, let me show you the chart. So here's what I'm looking at. Hopefully you
Okay.
can see it really well. Like I said, the ones, the sun, oops, the
Mhm.
sun here
Yes.
is at 11. Look at all these ones. So I really feel like this is just like the start of something new.
Oh,
When it
wow.
comes to, like you said, relationships, the South Node is at the first degree as well. So kind of things, like I said, going back into my childhood. So going back into your childhood as well, what are some things that you wish that you could have, you know, had the option to do, or things that wish you didn't have to experience. Try to incorporate that into your, how can I be, I want my child to be better. I want my child to have a better experience than I had. Not saying that I had a horrible experience, but I wanted to make sure that they have, we always want better for our children, right? So really take that into like process and thinking like, how can I incorporate something that I didn't get when I was a child? Going back to what I said, when it comes to eating, I didn't get that option to pick what we have for dinner. So I love to incorporate my children when it comes to, hey, what snacks you guys want to get? What fruits and vegetables you want to get? Where you guys want to go today? You guys want to go to the movies? You guys want to go to the park? You know what I mean? Just kind of throwing those type of suggestions out there just to get your kids input. And it gets us excited. I feel like I'm still a big kid at heart. I feel like we're all still big children. That soul, that spirit, that inner youth, that inner
Yes,
child is still lies within us. All of
yes,
our desires, all of our artistic gifts, they all stem from when we were a child. So I feel like even deep diving into those aspects with the children, painting with them, reading
yes,
with them, drawing with them, singing, dancing. My daughter asked me, Mommy, let's dance. I'm like, okay, let's dance. Let's get up and dance. So, just doing more hands-on things with them. Even if you are, let them pick, hey, what type of activities you want to do today. So I feel like that's a great
yes.
way to incorporate them being even more excited and wanting to do things as well.
Yes, those ones are powerful because this is saying that 2025 is going to bring a newness. It's an empty slate here. Do that thing that you've been
Yeah.
putting off. Do that trip. Do that. Maybe a new rhythm or new systems in your family that maybe you were thinking about. Like maybe I should change the bedtime, or maybe we should have a weekly outing, or seeing those ones in the chart gives me like this big old idea of being open. Like we're just, hey, if it's new, just try it for your family.
Yes.
Because we're practicing following our intuition. We're practicing following our spirit, and seeing those ones there, like so encouraging. Like, yes, this is the year, baby.
Yes.
So
Yes. I agree. I agree. And I love the fact that you said following your intuition. That's been a thing that I've been leaning on with my children as well. My son will ask me questions like, hey, mom, you know, he'll ask, my son is 7, so he asks me, he's at that stage where he's very curious. So he asks me all type of different things. Hey mom, is this good or is this bad? I'm like, Josiah, what do you think? So I try to let him make his own decisions, let him, tap into his own intuition. Because like I said, growing up as a child, I would speak up a lot and I was always told to be quiet, stay in a child's place, mind my business. Yeah, and it's okay, because I was asking some things I don't think I'm supposed to be asked. I was very curious, but also not shutting them down, letting them know, hey, we'll talk about that later. If it's something a little more, on a different level, hey, we'll have this conversation another time. But always being open to your children and having different discussions and having different um topic suggestions with them when it comes to letting them be open, letting them be free, letting them speak their piece so that way they can tap into their intuition. That way they're not 30, 40, 50 trying to figure out what their intuition is. Should I follow my gut? Should I not? Working on that confidence, that inner strength. And I love that you said, listening to your intuition because that's something that I want to instill in my children, follow that gut intuition. Whenever we go for walks and we come across a new path, I'm like, you guys pick. Where do you guys think we should go? And they're like, I'm like, what's your first mind say? They're like, left. I'm like, let's go left. And then we end up in a park or end up in a field of flowers. And I'm like, that's them listening to their intuition. Let them trust it. Let them listen to it. So I love
I
that you
see.
said that.
I see. Renee says I taught my children
Hey,
as well, and my oldest has really flourished. When our
yes,
parents say that, it encourages and inspires us all. It really does. So thank you, Renee. It really
yes.
does. It encourages us. So thank you.
I love that. Thank you. Peace to the soul tribe in the chat. Appreciate everyone in there. We need all of the love, all of the support. It takes a village. So I love that input, and that's confirmation to what we're talking about when it comes to trusting your intuition. That really helps the children flourish in the future instead of them being confused and having self doubt and self sabotaging because they aren't trusting their intuition or they can't hear their intuition. They don't hear that guiding spirit within because at a young age they were told to quiet that down or, told, not to believe in that or just a whole bunch of different things. And I feel like us being that first teacher, as parents, we're their first teacher, we can teach them to trust that. So,
And you
I
know
love
what? I wanted to actually welcome Asiatic Splendor and Renee and here Christopher.
Yes,
Yes.
hello.
So
Greetings, everyone.
thank you so much. Please chime in and tell us, your victories as a parent and if
Yes.
you have questions for the astrologer, because this is about she's put in that work to pull up the chart, and maybe you could show it again, New Diamonds. And so
Yes. So here's the chart.
mm-hmm. And
Again, we have a lot of ones in the chart. Sun is at the 11th degree in Capricorn, and Capricorn is all about that father figure, that structure, that foundation, that masculine energy, putting the
yes.
passion behind the action so that way things can get done. And 11 is attributed to Aquarius. So that is that in the future, hopes, wishes, and dreams. Where do you see your children at in the future? That's why we're laying down this structure, this foundation right now, so that way that foundation is steady and sturdy, so they can keep continuing to build on that to make their hopes, make their wishes, make their dreams come true. And I'm still a firm believer in that. If you work hard on something, have discipline, have patience, and the right guidance, you can accomplish whatever it is that you want. Especially this day and age, as we move into this Aquarius energy,
Yeah.
technology is ruling everything. I'm seeing 3-year olds become millionaires on YouTube. So it's nothing when it comes to our imagination. Let your children's imaginations run wild. This is the time. This is what they were sent here for. This is their realm. And it's amazing because it takes me back to this story when my daughter was first born. She was about, I don't know, 6 months. And I gave her a tablet. She started touching on the tablet. She crawls over to the TV. She starts touching on the TV. And I'm like, baby, the TV isn't touchscreen, but they're so far ahead in the technology that I'm like, wait a minute, this is giving me a Jetsons vibe. You know what I mean? In the future, maybe all of the TVs will be touchscreen. You know what I mean? Maybe everything will be a holographic type of thing and we'll just be able to touchscreen. They have those new goggles where everything is virtual reality. So let these children's imaginations run wild and they are creating the future that we will live in. So that's my thing. Just continue to pour into the children because you never know.
Yes. I did have a question as to how much of we're getting these energies from the stars. We were born into this system that was given to us, right? We call it
Yes.
astrology. But how much of that influence is weighed with the influence that we have? Like, how do we balance it out? How do we balance it out? We're getting this advice, we're getting this guidance from the stars, but how do we balance it out? Like, what has been your experience? I hope I'm clear in my question. I just want to know how you balance that out. Like, I can blame it on the stars. People say, well, blame it on the stars or blame it on the
Yes.
devil,
Yes. Yes.
but how do we engage and what is our responsibility, New Diamonds?
I always say accountability. Always making sure that you're being held accountable for your actions. Like how you say sometimes, I've tried everything. I'm having a bad day. I done stubbed my toe. My car not working. Okay. Did I make sure everything was right? Was I rushing? Maybe that's a sign for me to stay in. Maybe that's a sign for me to go within. And always just stay grounded, stay centered, and know that if anything isn't working out in my favor, it's because it's not supposed to. Maybe it's not meant for me to go out. Maybe the divine is working a different path for me. So my main thing is always try to stay grounded, regardless of what's going on. I always try to stay centered in my energy, regardless if it's Mercury retrograde. Okay, because they always say, "Oh, everything goes haywire," and it's about your mindset. It's always
Yeah.
about your mindset. If you feed into the energy, if you pour into that energy, if you're mad, 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 oh, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm going to stay mad, I'm going to stay angry, you're going to stay mad and you're going to stay angry until you come up out of this energy. If you're having a great day, okay, nothing stop my day. I'm lit, I'm happy, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm healthy, I'm well. Then nothing can really pull down that energy unless you let it. So it's always about centering yourself in your own energy, and knowing where your base point is at. Okay, what is my normal frequency? Okay, I normally wake up happy. I normally wake up in gratitude. I normally wake up ready to go. I'm a morning person. I'm a rising person. So I love to get up, give my thanks. If I'm waking up and I'm just like, okay, something is a little off, I need to check myself. I need to check my energy. Okay, what's going on? Why do I feel this way? What happened? Did I have a bad dream? Okay, was my man cheating on me in my dreams and I'm mad? You know what I mean? Like, you kind of got to get in a self accountability type of energy so that way you can get down to the
Yes.
center of your own energy, because that affects everyone. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm crying, my children see that. If my energy is off, my children, mommy, are you
Yes.
okay? So I'm always having to be self conscious and self aware.
Yes.
Never holding back your emotions, but be aware of them. That way you're not consumed by them. So that's like how I try to keep balance. Like I said, some days it's just like, you know what, it's out of my hands, but I always try to make sure that I'm centering myself, I'm breathing, and I'm grounding myself and taking accountability for my actions as well.
So I have a question for you, also
Yeah.
about astrology. This is about, getting guidance and really just using tools, right? So then
Yes.
how do we incorporate that into our daily lives as parents? Do we go get a chart? There's one of these online charting apps or whatever it is that they have. Do we look at our readings daily? What do we do as parents to incorporate these tools into our lives? Like, what have you done
One
to,
of
to,
my
to
main
use these
things,
tools? Yes.
I I I love to look at charts. Okay. I go to astroseek.com. I go to astro.com, and many other astrology websites. And then sometimes I'll just go outside and look at the moon. I'll look at what phase the moon is in. I'll look and see how full it is. I'll look and see if it's a crescent. And
Mhm.
I'll kind of measure out where it is towards the sun, and I'll kind of go off of my emotions there. So because the moon is all about cycles, and that's how I like to think how we move in life as well. We always are going through a cycle. Cycles are changing, cycles are never ending, making a full circle to complete the cycle. So I always love to just look at the moon, the stars, and check charts as well. But sometimes I just kind of go off my feeling. Always look at the date. What's today's date? Okay, it's Monday, the 15th or whatever day it is. I normally know around this time of the month, the end of the month, I'm bunkering down, getting ready for the start of a new month. So it's just kind of paying attention to your own cycles, going within and really seeing, okay, I know this first week, I'm always energetic. The second week, I'm running a little low. So maybe I need to do something that's going to help me pick up my energy.
Yes.
But there's multiple ways we can always tap into astrology or tools, to kind of see where we're at and see what registers with us. I always like to say, do what works for you. I have I have this one friend. They have like this sundial in their backyard, so they kind of like to go off of like old astrology. Like they just follow the way how the sun is, and they say, "Oh yeah, every single time the sun's right here, I know I'm going to have a good harvest." So it's kind of like that astrology sense as well. So do what works for you. But we have all these tools. I always say you can never go wrong. Do what resonates with you.
But those are good because some of us don't have a lot of experience. So you being able to say, the moon, how you're feeling, the phases of the moon. Of course, those charts, those are excellent resources for us, And I'm all about resources. I really like. I have this passion for families and to know that we have more power than we think we do. As a matter of fact, sometimes we feel helpless or hopeless, and it's not because we're not getting help from the ancestors or nobody cares. It's because we're not aware of what we already have.
Yes.
And that's one of the key things that I learned is that we already have so much. It's for us to get that knowledge. And then we grow on that. We go from there. But parents, you have so much in you. You have the experience of your ancestors, yourself. You have there's a system of these stars that we're putting in place. We're in the Christmas season. I know we don't all believe in Christmas, but nonetheless, that energy is there. Look, we were looking at that story about the Magi come to see Jesus, for like
Yes.
forever, right? But that's real.
Yes.
And that story is so real because even today, people of influence especially always consult the stars, right? So
Yes.
we have that power, and that's what this is all about. So yeah, I just wanted to chime in with that. And I had another question. When we are as parents, um, learning these things ourselves, do you think this is above children to learn too? Or do you think maybe we could bring
No.
think about that?
Yes, yes. I love to incorporate, I take my kids out to see the full moon every time it's full, and I tell them to make a wish. So I make it fun. I make it magical. Like you said, the magi, I try to make it fun for them so that way they're in tune with the cycles as well. Cuz it's kind of like going back to that ancestor energy. They would use the full moons to know when to plant, know when to harvest, know when to go inside. Like you said, we're approaching that winter solstice. So this is a time where you would gather your harvest to prepare for those cold winters, the shorter days, the longer nights, and really heeding the call of the seasons, the system, and the world. Because like you said, we're going through these cycles. It's different cycles for every season, and we have to be in tune. And I think that's very important for the children to be in tune as well. You could even start off by letting them watch the moon. Like, okay, on a new moon, take them outside. Hey, where's the moon? I don't see the moon. It's a new
Okay.
moon phase. Yeah. So
No,
I love doing things like that with my children just to get them in
yes.
tune with, seasons are always changing. The moon is changing. The sun is changing. Okay. The sun is setting. So when the sun set, it's time for us to start winding down as well. These are things that I love to incorporate with my children,
Yes.
as well as introducing them to astrological charts. My children, oh, mommy, you
Yes.
looking at charts again? You looking at the stars? I say, yes, mommy, study the stars. And I'll take them outside. What stars do you see? And they'll point up at stars and, okay, mommy, there's not so many stars, so many out tonight. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's a lot of pollution, or maybe it's the clouds, or
Yes.
high tide, low tide. So it's a lot. But I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful because it opens up their mind to, wow, we are on a planet in a universe instead of we're just in America in California. You know what I mean? It's a
Yes.
big world out there, and we're just a little speck in this huge universe.
Yes, that's powerful because we're talking about astrology, which is a discipline, right? And different
Yes.
levels of that discipline in different societies, whether it be Egyptian or Chinese or Mayan or whatever it is, but yet and still it's a discipline. So that discipline is connected to life itself, right?
Yes.
In the West, there tends to be this segregation of disjointedness, and people are detached from their learning. But when we go to these topics like astrology, we can say, hey, that's actually connected to my life. It's connected to the stars. It's connected to the waters. And as an educator, I do know and I try to emphasize the holistic nature of true learning, right? Because connectedness causes children to remember what they have learned because now it's real to them. It's real to them. It's not just because my teacher said that we have 9 planets up here. No, this is affecting my life, and I'm more likely to remember it and carry it on to other areas, right? So, what you're saying and the way that you're saying it, even, is so important for our parents to be empowered that it's not only astrology that we can involve them in, but that astrology is connected to the very life that we live on earth, and it's helping them to be more grounded. It's helping the children to have understanding and be more grounded. Hmm.
Yes. Yes, I agree. And you never know what I feel like these children today, they're far more intelligent than I was at their age. Okay. So it's like introduce them to these things. And if they're actually keeping up and able to grasp the concept, let them do it. My son is he asks me questions I don't have the answers to, and I'm like, wow, I love it. I love it because they're so curious, and um, they're just
Yes, the
hungry
basis of
for
learning.
information. So I
Can
love
I
it.
say that
Remember this
that
promise: teach the
curiosity?
children to question and explore imagination. For in their
Yes,
curiosity lies the seeds of knowledge. Yes. Shout out to Soul Tribe. Yes,
yes,
exactly. Their dreams are the blueprints of tomorrow's world.
absolutely.
Yes. So we
Yes,
have to keep feeding the
curiosity, the basis of
children.
curiosity is the basis of learning. It is the
Yes.
basis of true learning because one can
Yes.
obtain knowledge and not have learned. But curiosity will keep you going down the rabbit hole, right? It'll keep you being,
Yes.
being courageous and doing stuff and finding stuff and absolutely powerful. And I'm just, explore, do that.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And like you said, it keeps them engaged, and it's not just this something that I've been taught. It's actually something tangible, and I feel like they're able to grasp that concept a lot better when they realize, okay, no, astrology isn't just something far out. I'm actually on the planet, and I can actually touch this, and I see stars and I see the sun. Okay, this is something that I'm involved in with as well. So it gets them excited. I love it.
Now, do you saw a lot of ones in that chart, and this is going to be recorded,
Yes.
right? So they can go back on
Yeah.
YouTube. Is there anything
Yeah.
else that you want us to know from the chart? And
Um, Let me see.
I need to make
A
a
lot
comment.
of ones.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Um, Really, the main thing is giving just a lot of self-love. A lot of self-love is like the base structure of when we want to move into the future. Where we're headed to in the future is 3:33 on the clock. So it's all about divine alignment. It's all about listening to that inner technology, and that's going to help us prepare forward. And the more we get in tune with our technology, like you said, the more we're able to teach the children and they can listen to theirs. And that's going to help them open up their curiosity, their imagination. Because I do see Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces. And then we also have Neptune in Pisces. And Saturn is, like you said, all about that structure, all about that discipline. Pisces is all about the imagination, ending of cycles, and Neptune is all about spirituality. It's all about um, that inner guidance. So I feel like the more we get in tune with ourselves, we instill that love within ourselves, the more we're able to pour into our children, and our children are able to blossom and bloom to their full potential.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like leaving a flower in a dark room and just
Mhm.
letting it sit there versus nourishing a flower, putting it in the sun, speaking life into it, pouring water into it. It's a big difference. And you do that from your own values. If you don't see any value within yourself, if you don't really love yourself, like I said, if I'm having a bad day, like forget everything. But it's like, no, I got to pick myself up. I love myself. I know I'm worth it. And you instill that in your children. Like, oh no, I'm confident. I know 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I mean? I wasn't taught anything different. And I have this confidence and I have this inner knowing that's going to help propel them much further than we could probably even imagine, because they're going to be the ones running the tech. They're going to be the ones tapping into this
Yeah.
AI, that this, what is it, GPT and
Yes.
Bitcoin and all of these different things. They're going to be the ones that's really into that. We're getting introduced to it, but 20 years from now they're going to be the ones like, hey, you do this, you trade this, let's do the blockchain to this. And it's like, wow, but this is what they were incarnated for. Just like when we first were born, we were getting
Yes.
introduced into the internet, and in your
Yes.
generation we're getting introduced to the TV. So it's like now these things evolve and these things grow, and this is their time for them to deep dive into that, and we pour that nourishing, pour that love into them, so that way they continue to blossom and bloom.
Okay.
Because I really do see this being a end of an old cycle, and we have to continue to push them into the right direction as we go into this new cycle. So that's like the main thing that I see, because we have a lot of things on this Pisces.
Mm.
So Pisces is right here. So there's a lot of energy when it comes to endings, and it's all centered on this side. So it's like ending old things to start new things. And I feel like with all of these ones in the chart, we are that new beginning. And the more we instill that love within ourselves and we instill that love within the children, that foundation is set and the sky is limitless for them. They have no ceiling. Okay.
So it sounds like 2025 is not just a year for, general. Like people think, I would say that we can hear more about careers and more about relationships than we do about our parenting and our
Yes.
family relationship and our responsibility to raise that next generation, right?
Yes.
But from
Yes.
that parent's perspective, with this ending of the old and the starting of the new, again, I just get this sense of, that sky's the limit, the world's your oyster kind of thing with your family,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
your family, they are the creators of that world we want to see, this Aquarian age. They're the ones that are going to be and are, and we have to respect their intelligence, right? Because they currently are shaping that world through their energy, through their mindsets, through their gifts that they have, right? Through their interests and
Yes.
their loves and their talents and their strengths and even their weaknesses, right? So I really want to just I just kind of wanted to double down on that 2025 being a time of ending of old and new beginning. And what does the new beginning look like to you? Right? Using your imagination and the
Yes.
imagination of your children. And I'm a firm believer of what you said in the beginning. Our children need to teach us. Like they're teaching us how to be better people, right? And if we can take that wisdom and that genius that's in them and incorporate and make that a real live everyday thing in the family under our auspices and guidance, of course, then our families will be
Yes.
richer for it now, not just in the future when they get grown or they became a doctor or they became an engineer. No, I now. So this 2025 is happening right now. This reading is for right now. I hope every parent on here takes it and just soars with it. The energy that we're getting from the cosmos is just that. It's about that new beginning and that ending of the old. So even the good
Yes.
old, sometimes we could be trying to be stuck because we did good yesterday, right? Nope, time to get up and move on, right?
Yes. Yes, I agree. I agree. It's about embracing the unknown and knowing that you set the stable foundation. It's kind of like setting the bird out. Okay, you've been in the nest. I've been nurturing you. I've been instilling all this love in you, teaching you. I know you have a good head on your shoulders. Now it's time to fly. It's time to be set free. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on right now, especially when it comes to astrology and spirit, being spiritual and leading the children in the right direction. Okay, I've taught you, right from wrong, like you said, either whether whatever religion you're in, whatever you believe in, there's still this structure, this discipline. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and when you go out into the world, abide by that, and it's unlimited possibilities. So I feel like that is the overall thing. We're going to be leaving a lot of old things behind, um, and learning from things that we've grown from in the past to help us excel on this new beginning in the future. Most definitely.
Yes, yes. I'm really excited because I get this sense of hope when excuse me, I would say when in general people are grieving over what happened politically, we get a chance to see the real deal. And the real deal is that it's much greater than any individual. And we've already been
Yes.
set up, and this energy is here for us now to take advantage of it. Because sometimes it's like this, right? It's not the
Yes.
energy is not always open for us to be creating new things and doing new things, right? So let's hop
Hmm.
on it 2025. And I really believe parents have the power, but through planning, writing things out what they want to see, right? And not for themselves only, but for their families, considering the child's personality, maybe getting their children's charts read using these tools, the tools that you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Astro,
Yes.
Astro and AstroSeek and Astro.com, put in their birth
Yes.
dates and really get a little bit more analytical, right? About what are we going to do this year that's going to change our lives And I would say also things like crypto, for instance, it's all about blockchain. It's not about just a coin, right? Learning
Yes.
these new skills as parents, because you're talking about new, right? So that was just an example of things
Yes.
that we can engage in, but definitely being that adventurer and saying, you know what, I'm going to do something new this year. I'm going to take advantage of
Yes.
genius. This kid, look, when my child was young, my child, they said he had autism. But let me tell you something. That boy taught me how to plant. He taught me how to get
Wow.
connected to nature. Anytime we moved someplace, he was the one that led the way. I called him MapQuest. No matter, we could never get
Love it.
lost with him in the car.
I love it.
And I'm saying, using your child's talents and helping them to bolster their, it don't happen in school, it happens at home, right? You know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
being that adventure and getting out there into that newness. Yeah, I could go
Yes.
on, but I wanted to read some of these. Our old way might not serve us in the new space. We must clip our wings so new ones can grow. Bruce Lee, oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
SB says we will speak the truth to ourselves. Absolutely. Renee, I am trying to learn. You are learning. We learn every day, whether
Yes.
we like it or not.
Yes.
We like
Yes.
it or not.
Yes.
You know?
I love that. I love all of these comments, and everybody's right. I feel like everybody feels this energy of this shift, and it's all about what you learned, how you can grow, how you can evolve, and how you can apply that for the future of the children. I love how you said, the crypto as well. Even if you got $5, put a little $5 in some Bitcoin and let that be the investment, and watch 20 years from now. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it's all about getting the children involved, and like you said, letting them teach us, because they put me onto new things all the time. I'm like, what's this? Next thing you know, it's everywhere. So I'm like, wow, my children taught me about this. Like you said, your child teaching you the plant to grow, to use the internal navigation. So I feel like also being open to what the children has to say, being open to their minds, being listening and taking action when they say something. No, mom, that's not right. No, dad, that's not right. And sometimes just listening, having that open ear and listening, because you never know if they say something random like 24, 25, 87. Like, wait a minute, the lotto numbers, that was just a mega lotto yesterday. You know what I mean? So it's like, hold on, baby. You may be prophesizing over here. So it's all about listening to the children, listening to the children. I feel like that's a big thing, and really taking in what they have to say to heart, and instilling that love in them, and continue to help them flourish as well.
Yes, yes. So I just have one more question. When it comes down to our own astrological chart, right?
Yes.
Do you think that it's helpful to, well, I can't say it that way. I would just say, do you think that we should spend like a little time gathering information about how we meld with our children? And
Absolutely.
this is something that I did not do because I wasn't aware, I wasn't privy, I was just ignorant. you know, um, taking time to, it's more of a statement, I guess. you know, uh, know how we meld with our children is important. Can you speak to that? Because some of our children, sometimes we can be like, you know, and knowing ourselves, speak to that a little bit, as pertains to
Yes.
strategy and what have you. Go ahead and speak to that a little bit.
I believe that's very important. That will give you a deeper level of understanding where when it comes to the relationship you might have, or might certain clashes, or certain aspects when they come together, how they evolve. Like, I'll use myself as an instance. I am a Gemini. That's the air sign. So I'm always in my mind, in the clouds. Da, 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 da. Oh, I get lost, aliens, everything. So my son is a Virgo. My daughter is a Capricorn. They're both earth signs, so they keep me grounded. That's exactly what I need. I need to be grounded because I get so lost in my mind sometimes. They help me snap back to reality. My daughter comes, "Mommy, I'm hungry." Okay, let me let me set down this phone because I've been looking at these drones in Jersey, Atlanta, and I've been looking at drones all over the world. Hold on, let me come back down to earth. You know what I mean? So it's all about that balance and aspect, and they most definitely keep me grounded with their signs and knowing where your Mars is at, knowing where their Mars is at, because this is going to stimulate both of you guys' minds. It may even, like you said, sometimes when you're butting heads, what really ticks you off. My Mars is in Aries, so if I'm upset, I'm going off. But my son's Mars, his Mars is in Pisces. So when
Mm.
he's upset, he's more emotional. So I'll know to calm him down because he's more of an emotional. He's very expressive. So we balance each other out in that way. So I know how to calm him down. I kind of ground him and hug him and know, it's okay. It's okay to express your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to, now we don't want to be consumed in that, but we do want to express and release and feel that. So I love that aspect. I always look at my kids' charts and see how they mesh well within themselves, so I can give them a better breakdown on that. And then also how they work with me and how we're balanced and where they might have their moons at. So sometimes, they may be a little more emotional during that moon phase as well. So I love that. I love that. I think it's absolutely true because my kids keep me grounded for sure. And what's the odds they were both earth signs and I'm an air sign? And I feel like they give me that balance, that structure. So,
I want to encourage those that are here to ask questions if you have any. We only have like a
yes,
few more minutes, but I wanted to go ahead and get a couple of questions in your mind. And please, only a few of us. So, Diamonds is here,
yes,
and and yeah, it's kind of like an intimate setting, here, because these moments are foundational for us. We are getting ready to we have begun an ascension that, in 2024, and with 2025 coming, it's like we getting ready to just really accelerate. And so,
yes.
yeah, take advantage of this time, to ask questions if you have any,
Yes. If anybody has any questions or any comments that you would like to share about parenting your children, what you may think the new year may hold for you, some advice, some tips, some experiences you think people may benefit from, please feel free to share that. Because, like I said, we all know it takes a village. And when it comes to raising children, 10 hands are better than one. You know what I mean? And I feel like the more knowledge, the more wisdom we have, we share, it will all help us. So please feel free to share. Okay. Which book of astrology will help us understand? Um, I have Esoteric Astrology by Alice Bailey. Um, that one is very in depth with a different perspective on astrology, but it's very thorough in a breakdown. Shout out to Sister Myra. She actually recommended that book in one of her lectures, and I immediately bought it. It's one of those college, real thick book. I'm not even halfway done, but it has a lot of knowledge in there when it comes to astrology. Also, signs and planets. I forget who the author is of that book, but that's an awesome, awesome breakdown of just like we said, the Mars in Aries or the moon in Aquarius. It does a very good, thorough breakdown of that as well. Even connecting it to certain celebrities like Gemini's, celebrity Gemini's. I just know off the top of my head, like Prince, Tupac, Biggie. So they're kind of reference some of those people to kind of get a better understanding of this attribute. So those are some really good astrology books that I love. And there's a lot out there. My whole thing is when it comes to like obtaining knowledge, whatever your spirit is telling you, go for it, because there may be something in that book that you obtain and may spark a whole another different type of idea within you. So if you see something that a lot of people aren't recommending, but you see something interesting in there, like something catches your eye, I say get it, because you never know. And then with Amazon, it's like if you get it, you don't like it, return it. Hey, no harm, no play, no foul, right? So
Can
that's
I
those are
answer
some of
this?
my recommendations.
Can I, excuse me, thank you so much.
No,
Can
you're
I
fine.
answer this question here? What are some essential
Yes.
tools of knowledge and understanding you believe children should be equipped with for life? Can I answer that one?
Ooh,
Okay.
yes.
You know, knowledge, when it comes down to knowledge, knowledge of self is key, right? So things like anatomy books, right? Anatomy, you know, you can create a whole curriculum if you had an anatomy book. Because when you know your anatomy, now you're talking about your emotions, you're talking about your wellness, you're talking about vision and sight and hearing and tasting and the third eye. You're talking about everything, right? Anatomy books and charts that you can develop conversations around, right? Cosmology and books about birds and trees and earth. These are the basics. These are the foundation to who we are as human beings, right? These kind of things, when they're young, even when they're old, they can browse through them. You can create conversations around them. You can go out in nature. And that is another thing, time in nature. See, we already have so many tools for learning. It's ridiculous, right? Because
Yes.
I spent like 20 years being a homeschool parent and also helping working with children with special needs as well, and being a behaviorist. And so the tools that we need don't cost a lot, right? They don't cost a lot. All you need is a pencil and a paper and a book and nature itself. So I would say going, being in nature, examining nature from the dirt to the stars, right? And examining one's body, having books and what have you about one's body, and also having dictionaries, different kinds of dictionaries, etymology and thesauruses, and physical ones. We're not talking about online because our learning is to maximize one's learning. One must use these as well. Use this, and this, right?
Yes.
When you connect those, there's something about the hand that sends a signal to one's brain, right? So, yeah, I could go on and on about that, but definitely those basic things about nature, getting in nature, writing, definitely any kind of tools for writing. It could be writing in sand, it don't matter. Dealing with trees and birds and then also yeah, the anatomy, nature, and yeah, I think that was basically, and yes, your dictionaries. Yeah, and if you don't have and can't invest like that, the library is a beautiful place. Hey,
Yes.
so I need the
YouTube too.
basics, sis. Go ahead.
YouTube is a great teacher as well. Okay, it's a whole university, YouTube University. So, like I said, it's free things. These tools we got to tap in.
Yes. Any other questions? Yes. You're talking about things you know nothing. Well, you know what? Only thing I can say is that what I speak, I have lived. And my children, listen to me. I'm going to give you a little piece of my story. I was neglected as a child, totally
Mm,
neglected. I basically raised myself on the TV from listening to adult conversations and reading books. When I got to be around 16 or so, my spirit was telling me that I should homeschool my children. I knew nothing about that, right? But as a neglected child, spending time with myself all the time, even though emotionally I was like, really trippy, right? Because I didn't have that guidance. But let me tell you something, following my spirit, doing what spirit told me to do, homeschooling my children wind up being engineering, biology,
mm,
and mathematics majors. And that's because I did what's in my spirit. But listen to this. I dropped out of school 3 times because of
mm.
severe depression. I didn't have the educational background, but because I taught my children not to be afraid of learning, right? And that's what happens to our children. They get dumbed down because they're afraid of learning. So when I speak with authority because it's what I lived, it's what I know, it's what I studied in college, and what I have been trained to do. And I'm speaking like this because somebody made a comment, and I'm just putting it in the air.
Yes.
I'm here. New Diamonds is here to serve our people.
Yes.
And we have the authority to do that. And that we are doing now. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that moment.
Yes. Yes. And I believe that it, because sometimes sometimes we get trolls in the trap, okay? So, but I feel like it always has to be this polarity because we all know childhood isn't all roses, butterflies, and dandies, and
Oh,
we fall, we get hurt, we scrape ourselves. It's this scab. It hurts, you know what I mean? But it's up to us on how we handle that, how we nourish that, and it takes time to heal, and it's a healing process. So the more we pour into ourselves and pour into our children, the more we can grow, we can evolve, we can bloom. Like you said, whether we were neglected or come from abusive backgrounds or just a lot of trauma, we when we get out on our own and we are on this journey of healing and loving ourselves and healing that childhood trauma and healing these past things, and sometimes we get triggered and we get angry, we can always fall back on these tools that we have cultivated when it comes to elevation and healing ourselves. Like you said, I can go back to when I was, neglected, and now how I pour into my children because I never wanted that for them because that's something that I experienced. So this is why I'm nurturing the community, why I'm nurturing the kids, why I teach the kids, to help them know that we all are one and one for all, and if we all come together, we can all evolve and grow to something much bigger in the community
yes.
when we're together and united instead of divided, right?
Yes, yes. Oh,
So,
powerful. And look, New
yes.
Diamonds, I know that we can't go on forever, and you have given us your your time. I appreciate you.
You
Um,
know we can
so
go forever, but we'll save
yes,
that for part two. We'll save that for another time, right?
yes, and I will say, look out for the recording if you want to go back and reference any of the materials, or just get some inspiration, because this is real, right?
Yes. Yes.
This energy is real. This is
Yes.
been it's here for us, and we are living it. But if we don't take advantage of it, and if we are willfully ignorant of it, woe to us and shame on us, for because it's here for us. We can't say that we didn't have help,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, SB says the real story. Definitely part two. Definitely Bruce Lee. But
Absolutely.
thank you so much, New Diamonds. I
Thank
appreciate you.
you.
I believe in you, and I see the work you're putting in every day. I
Appreciate
got
you.
my eyes on you. I'm like, this sister's not playing. Let me get up from here and do something because she is not playing. I'm
Yes.
like, Tanya, what are you doing? Get up right now. And that's an inspiration. I appreciate you.
I appreciate
Mhm.
you as well. And please leave your information for people if they want to contact you about more parenting advice. Because I feel like as parents, the the more we know, the more we grow, the more we share, the more we evolve. And so I feel like there may be people out there who have questions about parenting, or I went through this, how do I overcome this, or my child is doing this, what do you suggest I
Yes.
do? So I appreciate you as well. You already know it's all love. You're like a sister to me, and
Yes.
this has been a beautiful just energy just to share space with you. And I appreciate you, and I'm so thankful for you as well, for you to even trust me and go in on this topic in this astrology alignment when it comes to parenting. So I thank you so much, and please leave your information for anyone who wants to get in contact with you as well.
Well, I'm on YouTube as Tanya S. Roses. Tanya's Roses, or Lavender, even Lavender Roses. And I'm also on TikTok, and you can always message me there. I'm really not set up for anything yet, but I just wanted to just dive out there and not miss the moment, even though everything's not perfect so far as my contacts and different things. But I just wanted to say, let's seize these moments, and so like I said, Lavender Roses, or Tanya S. Roses, on YouTube, and also on TikTok. And just like I said, reference this video, and I'll give New Diamonds my information, so it'll be in the description of the recording. How about that?
Yes.
Peace,
Yes. I'll
everyone.
make
Peace.
sure to put everything.
Yes, peace to, and you're definitely in my prayers and my affirmations for you all. Success and peace and wisdom for your families, definitely.
Thank you. We love that. We need this community to keep staying together, keep building together, keep growing together. And it's conversations like this that help us grow, help us learn, and help us evolve. So I appreciate you tremendously. And thank you so much just for your expertise, your knowledge, sharing your wisdom, and your understanding and your perspective. I really value that. So thank you so much, Soul Sister.
Yes. And everybody, community, we love you, appreciate you.
Yes. So until next time, everyone, I'm going to put all the description, put all of the information down in the description box below. You guys be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Send this to a parent. Send this to someone you think may take some gems out of this because I feel like this is very healing. This felt like a nice, beautiful session that I feel like a lot of people, not even just parents, people can just learn from and grow from. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, you guys. Love you, Soul Tribe.
Bye-bye.
Peace.